What is going on, miners, and welcome back to the Hobbyist Miner channel. Well, ALEPHIUM has been on fire recently. So in today's video, we're going to be building an 8-card GPU mining rig to stack as much ALEPHIUM as we can.
Are high energy rates cutting into your crypto mining profits? Introducing Terra Hosting, your solution for first-class, hassle-free crypto mining. At Terra Hosting, we specialize in hosting services tailored for GPUs, ASICs, and AI machine learning. Say goodbye to skyrocketing electricity bills and noisy, heat-producing hardware. Our unique service offering combines low electric rates with a community blockchain-oriented data center, while ensuring your equipment stays safe and secure. With Terra Hosting, you simply set it and forget it. Contact us today to learn more and get answers to all your questions. Terra Hosting. Trust as a service.
All right, so let's take a look at what we are working with today. Look at these cards. They look so good, stacked and rowed right next to each other here on top of the server case. Any guesses on what these are? These are the Sapphire Pulse X080s. And you might be like, wait, what? What are these? They're not 6600s? They're not 6700s? What are these? These are mining dedicated graphics cards. Take a look. There's no IOs. Well, sorry, there's no displays, should we say, on the IO brackets over here. These are completely dedicated to mining. So let's take a look here. So they look very similar to a lot of the other Sapphire Pulse models. They are 1 8-pin, but let's go ahead and flip these over. Got a nice back plate there, and give you guys a little look, see if I can get this on camera here. There it is. Can you see it? It is the G Pro X080. It's a 10 gigabyte graphics card, GDDR6. And these are pretty much a hybrid between a 6700 and a 6700 XT. They're kind of like right in the middle there if you go ahead and take a look at some of the specs, which is going to make these interesting for overclocking because there are no overclock settings out there for this, especially if we're looking at something like ALEPHIUM that we're going to be building these for today. I thought this case would be perfect match with the red and the black. We're going to be installing this in the MinerDude 8 Extreme. This is my only MinerDude I have, and I love it. I love that kind of black charcoal look that it has. It is not brand new. The case I've had in my out in my shed. These GPUs, I actually, if you guys are curious, I actually purchased these 7 of them from Hawk Crypto Mining. And then the 8th one, which is actually right here, I actually bought off of Newegg to kind of complete the set of 8 so that we could go ahead and do today's build. So let me go ahead and get the MinerDude open up so I can show you guys what we're working with, and then we'll dive in and get started with our build. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look. So the MinerDude is very much a rebranded Octominer, to be honest with you. You can almost see, look, you can almost see like a sticker that was just placed in here to cover up some of the Octominer type of stuff. And it's awesome though. They're great cases. They were definitely more popular during the last bull run stateside because you didn't have to have the MinerDudes shipped overseas like you would with the Octominers because these were stateside. But they're pretty much a rebrand, I'll be honest with you. But they're awesome, really, really good. Redundant power supplies here on the back side. You guys can kind of see we have multiples there, as well as we have our motherboard right here in the middle. If you guys haven't seen these, that's the motherboard, not this guy. The motherboard's right here. Take a look. You got your CPU, you got your cooler, you got your memory, and then look, we actually have SATA running to a solid state drive right here. So your hard drive is accessible right here in the front, slides right in. The motherboard then plugs into an expansion slot, which into this full expansion massive card that you see here. And then we have all of our PCI slots across the bottom. It's kind of how it works. If you're curious on sizing, 65 millimeters, they actually put it right on the actual board there, which is pretty sweet and works out really, really nicely. Power, all of your power is broken into this distribution board here. It's actually pretty slick, to be honest with you. All three of those power supplies go into the distribution board and balance out your power. And then we have a massive amount of PCI cables, almost too much. I really should take them out, but I always keep them in because I hate to lose them. But massive amount of PCI cables to go ahead and connect all 8 of our GPUs. This does have the high RPM fans right here in the front that pipe through this thing. Never get your shirt stuck in these. It'll cut it up in 2 seconds. I have had my shirt pulled into these things. It cuts a hole directly into it. It does have a fan controller built in with it. Sorry, my dog getting comfortable there. And this is integrated very similar to the Octominers, so you can control the fans, and you can view your temperatures and everything like that. They have some of those sensors on here for your intake temps and exhaust temps and all that types of stuff. So these are really slick server cases. I've been very, very happy with them. They are pricier than some of the other ones that we've talked about and shown on the channel. So next steps is we need to get these guys installed. After we go ahead and put HIVEOS onto this hard drive here, is what we'll do next. I'm not going to go step by step how to do that, but if you guys need a tutorial, hey, how do I install HIVEOS on a solid state drive? I got you. Check the link directly down below. I have a full beginner's guide on how to do that. So step 1 is going to be doing that. And then step 2 is going to be installing our graphics cards, followed up by PCI cables, and we're ready to go. Oh man, check it out. This came together so nice. Look at that. I love the fact that it's just 8 pins. It looks so much cleaner. I really do like the black and red with this case. Man, oh man, look at that. So, nice thing about these cases is a lot of this cut to length, like the cables here have plenty of slack to them. The only downside is you have so much extra PCI cables just kind of like crammed down here to get out of the way. Not sure what you guys do. Let me know down below what you guys do with all these extra. Do you remove them? I'm just afraid I'm going to lose them. So zip tied those together down here, piped it down through, and then all the way down into our power supplies there. So we installed our hard drive in the very beginning. We name all of our rigs based off of Pokemon. My kids helped me out. This one they decided to call Moltres, which I thought was very appropriate here, which will be great. So with that being said, let's get this powered up. All right, so we have showed up in HIVEOS. It's always a blessing when all 8 of your GPUs show up the first time, especially after doing a build. I did have to go ahead and I turned down the fans in that Octominer because, man, they are just roaring like crazy when you just have them set to auto. So I turned them down pretty significantly. So as you can see in the software, they're all listed as 6700s, which are super rare and definitely hard to come by. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our flight sheet set up for lithium. So let me do that. Let's get these up and mining stock, and then we'll see what we can do with overclocks. All right, so we've been mining for just a few minutes here, but take a look, 660-ish when it comes down to our mega hash on a lithium, and the watts actually stock are pretty damn good. I don't have any overclock settings in at all with these GPUs. Now, if you're like, well, how do I set up my flight sheet? Let me show you real quick. We'll run through that. Let me go ahead and edit my flight sheet. So perfect. So we've gone ahead and selected the coin of a lithium. We've selected our lithium core wallet address. It's very simple. You just go into HIVEOS, select wallet, and add your address there. And then for our pool, we're mining on hero miners. We've used them for a variety of different pools. over the last several months with all the different mining rigs that we've been resetting up or building new. And finally, we're using SRB Miner. Now, I'm going to have to do some testing between SRB Miner and also BZ Miner. I've heard both are good on ALEPHIUM. Let me know in the comments down below which one you guys prefer for your AMD rigs. So now my next test is to really see how far we can push these, because there is a big difference between the 6700s and these guys. All right, so before we talk about overclocking here more, I wanted to show you guys a little comparison of how this card really stacks up. So a traditional 6700 you guys can see here, and if we scroll down you can look at the clock speeds, and this is what I really want to pay attention to, because this card is this weird in between. It's weird in between a 6700 and a 6700 XT. And so on a 6700, take a look at base clock, 1941. Okay, game clock 2175, boost clock 2450, and our memory clock is 2000. Now, all that other stuff, it's the same. But look at that top number, 1941. When we jump over to the Sapphire G Pro X080, all the stats are identical here under clock speeds. But look up here, there's a strikeout in that 1941, comparing it. And look, it's 2132. So by stock standards there, it actually is tweaked upward, you could say. It's almost like a 6700 on steroids, up to 2132. It's not quite as good at all as a 6700 XT, but it's a nice in between. All right, let's take a look at some overclock settings. All right, so it took me a while to kind of play around with this, and the reason is because there's nothing out there. I kind of scoured the globe to see, like, has anyone else gone through this? Checked on YouTube, couldn't find anything. Checked on hashrate.no, and I decided to kind of play around with a little bit of a hybrid when looking at this. Now, the cards show up in the software as 6700s. They're not quite 6700s, so they can perform a little bit better. It was interesting. When I had no overclock settings in, you know, as we talked about, we were right around that 600, mid 600 level. And our watts were a little bit lower than where we are now. But for a little bit more watts, we've added a third more hash rate. So we went from like 660-ish up to 979, 980-ish. And we've only gone up 12, 13, 14 watts total. Maybe. So I've tweaked these a little bit. I found the best combination was a core of 2100 and a memory of 1. And as soon as you put that memory in of 1, it really drops the watts pretty significantly. So right now it says in our software we're doing 756 watts. Let me take a look at the wall. We're at 760. So the nice thing is about these miner dudes or octominers or R8s out there is they do actually have accurate watts. I mean, we're off by 4 watts. That's within the margin of error, which is pretty impressive. So here we have it. We have another ALEPHIUM rig. This is my beefiest ALEPHIUM rig right now with 7.8 gigahash at 760 watts. All right, miners, so that is going to wrap up today's video. Will ALEPHIUM be the next Ethereum? Maybe. We can hope so, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd love to see a coin takeover and bring that much profitability back to GPU mining. But right now, it's a great time to be a GPU miner. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what GPUs you have on ALEPHIUM right now. I'd love to know. Other than that, what are your thoughts on these cards? What do you think? These 0x80s. What do you think about these things? They're wild, aren't they? Leave your comments down below. I read every single comment on the channel. Other than that, if you guys want to be notified when I drop my next GPU mining rig video, go ahead and click that bell, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.
You know quantum computers. You know blockchain. But do you know both together? Dynex was the first platform to create a neuromorphic supercomputing blockchain-based algorithm which solves real-world problems. And the best part? Anyone can post a job, whether a company from the Global 2000, a machine learning job, or fintech and pharmaceutical. And if you don't want to program it yourself, get an expert directly at the marketplace. Run the job and be impressed by the fast result.